If you liked the video, feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. This video is a collection of 1,000 point lists for the Firestorm Assault Force and the Gladius Task Force detachments. We have 3 lists for each of the 2 detachments. These are lists for the Salamanders Space Marine Chapter. I have either Vulkan He'stan or Adrax, or even both in these lists, locking the list to the Salamanders. We will take a look at each of the 6 lists. This is more of a list roundup than a unit breakdown video. We will quickly go over the unit roles we can use when creating a list. As fun as it is to go all out on attack units, it usually does not win the game. For my unit types, when I build a list, I try to select from the following unit types: primary, utility, and attack. Now these are not keywords we can find on a datasheet. These are my own categories for units I use when I build a list. Primary, to pressure objectives and score a primary. Utility, to score secondary points as well as add some buffs or abilities to help my other units. Finally, my attack units, the units I will use to attack the enemy scoring and damage dealing units. This may seem simple, but they can make the difference between a bad and a good list. Too many attack units and we do not have enough primary units to hold objectives to score and then lose the game on points. Not enough utility and we may have a good primary score but still lose by a lot from no secondary scoring. Each faction and detachment will require a different mix of these units. It is not always a 33% of our total points in each of these categories kind of fix. The Salamanders and the Space Marines are meant to be able to do a little bit of everything: shoot, melee, and be tough. Depending on the detachment we use, the amount of shooting and melee or toughness will vary. The detachments will also vary in what kind of units we use and how many units we will need in our primary, utility, and attack roles. The Space Marine range is huge. There are many different units we can use to fill these list roles. We will start our list with the 3 1,000 point Firestorm Assault Force list. The first Firestorm Assault Force list is an infantry list. It comes to 995 points. My warlord is Vulkan He'stan. For my other characters, we do have Adrax Agatone and a lieutenant with a combi weapon with no enhancement. The battle line is a 5-man intercessor squad. For the other datasheets, we do have 2 units of 3 flamestorm aggressors, a 3-man unit of blade guard, 2 units of 3 eradicators with 2 melta rifles and a multi-melta in each one of those units. Finally, 2 units of inferno squads. One of those inferno squad will join up with Vulkan He'stan. The unit roles for this list: the primary units, we have Adrax Agatone with those 3 blade guard, Vulkan He'stan with his inferno squad, and the other inferno squad. For the secondary and utility, we have lieutenant with the combi weapon and the intercessor squad. Our attack units are the 2 units of 3 aggressors and the 2 units of 3 eradicators. Our next Firestorm Assault Force list is a transport list. It comes to 995 points. Our warlord is Vulkan He'stan. For the other characters, we only have Adrax Agatone. The battle line once again is a 5-man intercessor squad with a thunderhammer and the hand flamer on the sergeant. For the other datasheets, we do have a unit of 3 aggressors with the flamestorm gauntlets, a unit of 3 blade guard to join up with Adrax, a unit of 3 eradicators with the 2 melta rifles and the multi-melta, a unit of 5 infernos to join up with Vulkan He'stan, a 5-man infiltrator squad, a repulsor executioner with a twin las cannon and the las talon. Then finally, for the dedicated transports, we do have an impulsor. Adrax and the blade guard will go inside the impulsor. For the repulsor, we could put the eradicators, the aggressors, and even Vulkan He'stan in there. It depends on what you want to do with this list. The unit roles for this list: the primary units, we have Adrax Agatone with the 3 blade guard, Vulkan He'stan with his inferno squad, and the infiltrator squad, which will be standing on our home objective. For the secondary utility, we have the impulsor and the 5-man intercessor squad. The attack units is the aggressors, eradicators, and the repulsor executioner. Our last 1,000 point Firestorm Assault Force list is a Knight ally list. Our warlord is Vulkan He'stan. For the other characters is once again Adrax Agatone. Battle line is the 5-man intercessor squad. For the other datasheets, we do have 3 aggressors with the flamestorm gauntlets, a unit of 3 blade guard veterans to join up with Adrax Agatone, a unit of 3 eradicators, 2 melta rifles and 1 multi-melta in that unit, an inferno squad to join up with Vulkan He'stan, an impulsor for Adrax and the blade guard to drive around in, and then finally for our allied units we do have 2 Armiger warglaives with the thermal spears and the melta guns. The unit roles for our final Firestorm list is the primary units is Adrax Agatone with the 3 Blade Guard, Vulkan He'stan with the Infernus, and the Intercessor Squad. Our secondary and utility is the Impulsor and the Intercessor Squad. The Intercessor Squad will be doing a dual role of primary and secondary. For our attack units, we have the Aggressors, Eradicators, and our 2 Armiger Warglaves. That's our 3 Firestorm Assault Force 1000 point list. Let's move on to our 3 Gladius lists. Next up is our 3 Gladius Task Force lists for 1000 points. Our first list is once again an infantry list. This list comes to 995 points. Our warlord is Vulkan He'stan. For our other characters, we do have Adrax Agatone and a lieutenant with a combi weapon with no enhancements. The battle line is a 5-man intercessor squad. For the other data sheets, we do have 2 units of 3 aggressors with the Flamestorm gauntlets, 2 units of 3 eradicators, 2 melta rifles, and a multi-melta in each one of those units, a unit of 3 Blade Guard veterans to join up with Adrax. Finally, 2 5-man Inferno squads, 1 to join up with Vulkan He'stan. The unit roles for this infantry list, the primary units we have Adrax Agatone with the 3 Blade Guard, Vulkan He'stan with the Inferno squad, and that 2nd Inferno squad. Our secondary utility is the lieutenant with the combi weapon and the Intercessor squad. For the attack units, we have the 2 aggressor squads and the 2 eradicator squads. Our next Gladius Task Force list is a vehicle-heavy list, coming in at 1000 points. Vulkan He'stan is our warlord. For our characters, we do have Adrax Agatone, a Justiciar, and a lieutenant with a combi weapon in the Artificer armor, and then finally a Tech Marine. The battle line is a 5-man intercessor squad. For the other data sheets is 2 ballistic dreadnoughts, 2 units of 3 Blade Guard, 1 to join up with a Justiciar, the other 1 to join up with Adrax, and then finally an Inferno squad to join up with Vulkan He'stan. Our unit roles for this list, primary units is Adrax Agatone with the Blade Guard, Vulkan He'stan with the Inferno squad, and the 5 Intercessor squad. For the secondary utility, we do have the lieutenant with the combi weapon and the Tech Marine. For the attack units is 2 ballistic dreadnoughts and the Justiciar with the Blade Guard. Final Gladius Task Force is once again a Knight Ally list, and this comes to 995 points. Our warlord is Vulkan He'stan. For the other characters, we do have Adrax Agatone, a lieutenant with a combi weapon in the Artificer armor enhancement. Battle line is once again the 5-man intercessor squad. That 5-man unit is in a lot of these lists because it can sticky objectives. For our other data sheets, we do have a unit of 3 aggressors with the Flamestorm gauntlets, a unit of 3 Blade Guard to join up with Adrax, an Inferno squad to join up with Vulkan He'stan, and an Infiltrator squad to hold our home objective. For our allied knights, we do have 2 Armiger Warglaves with the Thermal Spear, Melta Gun, and Reaper Chain Cleaver. The unit roles for this final list, the primary units is Adrax Agatone with the 3 Blade Guard, Vulkan He'stan with the Inferno squad, the Infiltrator squad, which will be holding our home objective. The secondary and utility roles will be filled by the lieutenant and combi weapon and that 5-man intercessor squad. The attack units is our aggressors and our 2 Armiger Warglaves. That's all 3 Gladius Task Force lists and all 6 of our Salamanders 1000 point lists. Let's move on to some final thoughts. Let's finish the video with some final thoughts. This was our 1000 point Salamander list roundup. There should be a list for everyone in this video. I am going to be trying out a few of these myself. I'm not sure which one to try out first. Which list interests you the most? Which of these would you like to see in a battle report? Subscribe for weekly battle reports, list videos, and other Warhammer 40k content. Channel members gain early access to videos and an invite to the channel Discord. Like always, thanks for watching, thanks for stopping by.